welcome to Tones. We're as usual, we're your hosts, Cody and Jason.
Greetings.
Ooh, a different one this time. I like
Yeah, gotta mix it up, man.
it. And we're really excited to get back to our book club with The Shadow of What Was Lost. I am by James Islington.
hmm
And these were great 5 chapters, and we're almost done. I think this next one's gonna be the end of the book.
Yep,
But this one has some really great ones.
we're rearing towards the end here, and honestly, I think I'm just saying this before we get into it. I think the way we labeled this out for like every 5 chapters was like perfect.
It really was. It's landing perfectly where we need it to.
Exactly. Like, okay, honestly, like the hook we're at, it's like almost at the end of it's a cliffhanger from like any show. It's enough
Yeah.
to make you want more, but not devastating. Just like you're not cut off in the middle of the story, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Uh,
just I've been just more impressed with our 5 chapters and how well it is working.
yeah. And I think that speaks a lot to him as an author in the way that he writes.
mm-hmm.
I am A lot of the chapters end on cliffhangers.
Oh yeah.
It's really well done where it's not over the top. Some of them you see coming a mile away, other ones you're just like, oh dang. And we've been really, really lucky that most of the ones that we stop at are that oh dang ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a ton of fun. But before we dive right on into it, we'll briefly talk about a handful of things in fantasy news.
Yes, and shameless plug, please check out our
Patreon.
Patreon, get access to our Discord, all that fun stuff, yada yada yada. On to the fun stuff.
Yep. Okay. So first thing we want to talk about is Return to Moria.
Yes.
I just found out today. It comes out next week, so I gotta wait till next paycheck.
Yup. That's where I'm at too. But next paycheck, definitely will be getting it, and we'll probably start a little series of us playing through that.
Yeah, definitely. We did a little bit with like Conan Exiles, but first off, we'll finish Shadow What Was Lost before we do Return to Moria.
Oh, definitely.
That'll be
Definitely.
our treat. That will be the treat.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Oh,
got it.
other things, just a big thing for me is that I am the Percy Jackson series. I know I talk about it each time, but it's coming out here in December, and we keep getting more and more trailers, and I am people talking about it. And it's become the pretty big hype, and I'm really excited for it.
Okay, and actually sticking in the Disney and trailer kind of vibe here, going to go little to the side here. Have you seen the new Snow White and the Evil Queen trailer?
No,
Uh,
I, I still can't believe they're actually going to do it.
here's the
I thought, go ahead.
I can say you know who that one's by, right?
No,
It's not Disney.
no, wait, and the Evil Queen. I'm pulling this up right now.
Yeah, it's a 30-second trailer. Like, watch it.
Okay. Snowing the Evil Queen coming to Bentkey.
uh, Here I'll give you the
Daily
short.
Wire.
That's
Is it in
it.
the Daily?
Daily
Oh
Wire.
my gosh. Oh no.
Just watch it.
Once upon a time, in time a prince would come. Once upon a time, but now that time is gone.
Why does that look 100 times better than anything Disney's put out in the past like 5 years?
Because they gave a crap. That's why. No, seriously, I am more hyped on that one than anything Disney's gonna put out. Like, this looks amazing. The cinematography looks great. I believe they're actually filming in Belgium.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Like, Brett
How
Cooper
did they?
as Snow White
Yeah.
is just phenomenal. Like, that is excellent casting. And dude, this is for me. This is the biggest this is the best part for me is this is the biggest dig at Disney I have seen in a while.
Oh, it really is. But how'd they get the rights to actually do this?
Again, it's actually, you got to remember here, Snow White is a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, and
It
that
is.
is what is it? What's it called? Shoot. Basically, it's copyright free right now.
Oh, okay.
I try to remember what the term of it is, but public domain. It's in the public domain. That's what it's called. The Grimm fairy tales is public domain. So as long as there is nothing that hints at Disney's version of Snow White, they're good.
Yeah.
To which Disney's legal team already went through it and they could not find jack.
Yep, because it's anything depicting it from the 1930s one with the bob haircut, yellow and red dress, blue puff sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Like, it's public domain. They can use it as much as they want. And the other thing in front of this is like, this has not been a good week for Disney. They are right now shaking in their boots. Because
Yeah, what else is going on?
last weekend, South Park announced their special for Paramount.
Oh no.
It's called Welcome to the Panderverse. They make deliberate digs at like the race swapping and gender swapping of characters. To where in the, also another 30-second trailer, they're just like, yeah, we have Cartman. And it is a black woman saying, yeah, I had explosive diarrhea last night. Stan, Kyle, Kenny, all have been replaced, gender swapped, and ethnicity swapped. I think Kenny right now is attracting like the most thirst because they made him a like an Asian lady, an Asian woman,
Okay.
and everybody's been like, "Oh, she hot," kind of thing.
I pulled it up. I'm gonna watch this real quick.
Like, I don't even think it's
Trailers.
30 seconds. I think it might be like 10.
There's a trailer for a trailer.
It's a brand new exclusive event with all your favorite South Park characters. There's Cartman,
I had explosive diarrhea all night.
Stan,
Dude, school is going to be so awesome today.
Butters,
Oh, hamburgers.
and oh my god, they killed Kenny.
I like big boobs. How does this even make any sense?
It makes perfect sense. I think the problem is you. South Park, new exclusive event streaming October 27th exclusively on
That's
Paramount
wonderful.
Plus.
And because of it, Disney began getting into talks with Comedy Central and Paramount, trying to basically see what they could do to get the episode pulled, to where they actually met with Matt Parker and Trey Stone. And again, you gotta remember, these two guys do not give a flying F. They really do not give a crap. And in fact, I think because of this meeting, they've said, you know what? No, we're turning it into a 3-part special. Where they're actually, because again, this was the biggest thing that Disney was worried about, is they're going to make digs at Disney because guess who's entering the public domain next?
Who?
Mickey Mouse.
Oh no.
And South Park has not been kind to Mickey Mouse. Anything that's been nefarious, it's been Dictator Mickey. And that's,
Yeah.
and it's just been funny just from this week. So first off, that happens with South Park on last Friday. Then this week, on the anniversary of Snow White released by Disney, the Daily Wire releases their trailer for their Snow White.
Oh, that's great.
Like, this is truly like masterful political moving when it comes to the entertainment industry.
It is.
And
Yeah.
I'm just loving it.
Mickey Mouse becomes public domain in 2024.
Yep. Because Winnie the Pooh, I believe, I want to say was this year? Because I know Winnie the Pooh is public domain as well now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pluto in 2025, Donald Duck in 29.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
So it's going to be interesting to see how South Park takes that. And I am really excited for the Daily Wire's version of Snow White. It looks really good. And it just, I loved the nature shots. The nature shots are just so beautiful, so crisp, so clean. And just all of it looks good.
It does.
And I'm going to bet you it was a heck of a lot cheaper than what Disney's doing.
A lot less CGI too.
Yeah, like those apples, they're real.
I am so question for that. Is that Brett Cooper's real voice?
Yes, Brett Cooper can actually sing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure they threw in a bit of auto tune and stuff. But
Yeah.
like, and here's the thing, okay? This is coming from the guy who went to audio engineering school for music, okay? Like,
Mhm.
if they have zero singing talent, auto tune ain't gonna do jack squat. Because all auto tune does is it picks a key, and anytime they shift away from that key, it will automatically put them back there.
Okay.
So that's what auto tune does, because again, it automatically tunes them back to that key. So the fact that
Makes
she can, so they still need to at least have a raw base level of singing. Don't get me wrong, they don't need to be like a opera level singer or anything crazy like that, or Broadway. But at least
Yeah.
them knowing how to sing, having the basics, maybe even being part of like several church choirs, being in like high school choir, just having that knowledge and autotune, they're going to be able to sound professional and sound that authentic. So
Okay.
so again, Brett Cooper does definitely have like that baseline of knowledge of singing, and in fact, you can even go on YouTube and find her singing with some country singers, and because like you can even hear her, she kind of goes off key a little bit. So with autotune, put her back on key, she's going to sound absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking of with Phantom of the Opera, the the movie one with Gerard Butler and all that.
yeah.
The what's her name?
Christine Daae.
No, not Christine. Madam, the
Oh
the
yeah,
girl
yeah,
that she replaces.
yeah. I know
So
who you're
the
talking about.
opera singer,
Mm-hmm.
she can't sing. They had someone else voice it. So they had someone else do all the singing and
Mm-hmm.
just filled it in on top. And that's what I was wondering if they did on this because I've barely seen much of Brett Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, I don't know if she can sing or not.
Well, she was an actress. Again, she actually learned a lot of stuff, and like she lived in California. That's where she did a lot of her acting, and she was actually part of a sorority as well. So, yeah, this actually shows how much of her show I've watched, because I can spew this out.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool though.
But no, she's got a lot of cool credits. Again, I may not agree with everything she says, but again, her show is definitely entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah.
But
Well, cool. I think that brings it to a good point to talk about our main segment, the Shadow of What Was Lost.
yep, go from the classic of the Grimm story, yeah, the Grimm Brothers fairy tales, to our fantasy tale.
Yes.
N-
I am.
a tale not so old this time,
Yes.
but still a great story.
Oh yeah. I am overall feel. What did you take away from this?
It's getting good. Like it's beginning to vamp up, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, I definitely feel it's building to a climax, and
Hmm.
I'm concerned the climax isn't going to happen in this book.
I'm thinking because again, I believe we're going to get the climax in the book, but I think it's going to happen really fast.
And I'm worried that's not going to do it justice.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. I'm really concerned.
that I have that worry too. But again, we have how many pages? I want to say close to 50. No, we actually have almost we have 90 pages left. A lot can happen in 90 pages.
True.
What we just read is, let's see here.
That does include an epilogue, though.
Does that include the epilogue? Because I saw
Yeah.
693.
Page 677 is the beginning of the epilogue.
Oh, okay, 677. Okay, that makes sense.
So essentially, we have 74 pages
74
of
pages.
actual, and then we have the epilogue, which is another 20
Mhm.
pages.
Yeah. So we do have a, like, again, I think, again, just the way James Islington has been writing, he moves through things a lot quickly. He moves through it very fast.
Yeah, and when it
So,
this is my biggest, like, I know we're talking about this a lot, but my biggest concern with it is it's building to a battle. It's building to this huge event, and I don't want it to just be done with. I don't want it to just like get to that point and like the way he does it where essentially he jumps kind of past it and then just says some of the things that happened. I
Yeah.
don't want that to happen with this as the pinnacle of the story. This is the climax. This is the biggest thing, and I just don't feel like it's going to do it justice with the amount of pages he has left.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out. And personally, what I think is going to happen, I think the way the battle's going to take place is going to be very different from what we're expecting.
Yeah.
Because again, my original thought in all this, because it's now, I think our focus has now swapped over from the great big battle that is going to happen to something else. To which I think that's a good time for us to start diving into the book. So do you want to do it like person story by person story?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, so we can start with Davian. Or we can do Asha. Asha and Wer.
Let's start with Asha.
Okay, I think let's do Asha and Wer. Actually, let's do
Okay.
Asha.
Yeah.
Because I think that one's going to amount somewhere differently.
Yes. I am.
So that's...
So starting off with Asha,
Mhm.
the main place that I feel like starting is at the party.
Yes, absolutely. Because that is the first chapter in this with Asha and them.
Yes. I am. So, in regards to this party and the precursor to the party, really, they meet with the king, and they're really trying to convince him to allow the gifted to help fight,
Mhm.
and he shuts it down hard.
Mhm.
And it reminds me a lot of with Lord of the Rings and how Wormtongue
Yeah.
is poisoning Theoden.
Mhm.
That's pretty much exactly what's going through my head with it, is a form of that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I'm thinking it's not essence, but it's Khan. That's why no one's really able to detect it, and he's not letting
Yes.
also any of the gifted come nearby, let alone an augur.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it might be an augur who's manipulating him. So I definitely see where you're going with that, and I believe I'm with you. I agree 100%.
But yeah, so then after that, she goes and meets up with a few different people, talks about different things, just kind of setting up and building. And then Davian shows up and they're reunited. And that was a very touching scene. But I figure we can get into that with Davian's part.
Yeah.
The main thing I want to talk about with her is her meeting with the Sadrahine.
Yes.
What did you think of when she met with the false Sadrahine first? What did you think of that part?
I thought it was good, and I thought it was kind of funny, just because it's very much like she already knew, and therefore we already knew. Because again, we got this way earlier with Davy. It's like, oh yeah, I know it's a she, and it's the fact that this is the false one was a he.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of great things that he did in that chapter, where there's a lot of subtlety, but it's going by really quick. Like this is the complaint I think we both have with this. I feel like he's doing more telling than showing.
Yes.
Like we're being like told like, oh yeah, this is what happened, like very very fast, when I was like, oh, I would have loved to seen that scene. I would have loved to been there.
Yeah.
Would
Or
love
to
to
fully flush it out, and yeah.
Yeah, just because like, don't get me wrong, there are parts where he does do it, like the entire thing with meeting the king.
Yeah.
Like that, I was like, that is fantastic showing.
It was.
I was like, stay consistent. But
And I think it's an artistic, so the
Mhm.
more I think about it, the times he goes fast is with combat.
yes.
And I think it's twofold. One, so it doesn't become boring.
Mm-hmm.
And two, because combat is fast.
Yeah.
It's not something that's long and drawn out. And because of that, I mean, we're left feeling like we're missing something, because we're used to all those other ones that do have the flowery words that add so much more and help you visualize what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a style that it gives you that impression that this is just boom. This is how fast it happens. And I can see that and I appreciate that. I just am still a little more old school in how I enjoy the combat.
Yeah, and this one's definitely pulling more of a focus too. It's like the battle and stuff that is happening, but that's not where we need to pay attention. We need to pay attention to what's going on with David, what's going on with Asha, what's going on with War. We need to pay attention to those. They will see combat every so often, but that's not the main focus.
No, it's not.
And in every respect, like if you're going from a noble standpoint, the king isn't always out on the battlefront first. He's usually in the back getting words from his generals, then ushering them where to go. So it feels more like we're given that perspective, and that's what's really cool, like in this writing style. Because combat goes fast, but it is like as if we are a noble watching it happen.
That's a really cool way to put it.
Yeah, and he's done a fantastic job in that front.
Yes.
So again,
I
that
definitely
is
agree.
yeah. So if that is his style, he's nailed it. He's done a fantastic job with it. Because I feel like we're more invested into the court and the politics that are going on inside of it. Like I felt like, don't get me wrong, I do want to know a little bit more about the politics, and we're beginning to get that shown to us with within that feast scene where it was talking about some of the lesser houses and greater houses.
Yeah.
And seeing Wur's interaction with his uncle, with the representatives, like we kind of see already the glimpses that we absolutely need in order for the story to continue on. So he's done a fantastic job with that.
I agree. One of the things I really like, going back to the whole meeting with the false Stanley or Sadrahin.
Yes.
This is a time that I actually really did appreciate the show, and because I mean we got told about it earlier, we knew about this, like you said, but she just revealed to all of these other shadows they're not powerless.
Yeah.
This is such a huge pivotal moment that is so incredible, and I love that, and I love that it was very much. I am to pull from what we just watched, the finale of Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
It was Rand facing off against the Master Swordsman and his security, his guard.
Yeah.
Where they all go to fight him and he just massacres them. That's what she did. She showed that she has the power, and they can wield the same power. But she wants them to do it for the right reasons.
Yes.
And that was her entire hang up with this group. That is her entire thing, is she doesn't think they're doing it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her one condition. And I really liked that going into it all, and I thought that was really well done.
I think it was very well done, although I wouldn't say quite more like Wheel of Time. I felt like it was more like a what is his name? A Worf moment. Where it is, she goes in, there's the biggest guy in the room, and she just tosses him to the side like it's nothing. Just to show the power. Whereas, yes, in Wheel of Time, that's what happens. And again, I'm saying, worrying about bringing that up because I know that's where a lot, and again, I think I called this even when we were doing it, as like I knew a lot of people would be frustrated with that moment because in the books, it is a full-on fight in Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. But anyway, going to get back to this. But no, I really like how it's more on the political strength, on information, on what information you have. Because I love also how Asha is just like, you knew. I love that switch. How she just went from, wait a second, you knew. And she's like, you got me. But... And then from her perspective, she's like, what am I going to do with this knowledge? I can't get access to the artifacts. I need someone to get close to it. Someone like you, who was strategically placed in this specific position for, I don't know, maybe this exact reason.
Yeah, well, the thing that I liked that was said is that she knew that they were going to need to use the items. What were they called again?
Oh my gosh.
Starts with an A. I want to say it's not assurances, but
it's not artifact. What do they call it? It's not talisman.
Vessels.
Vessels. Okay.
It starts with an A. V. Whoops.
I was like, I don't think it's an A, buddy. I don't think it's an A, but let me double check.
It's an upside down A.
Without the cross.
Without the cross, yeah. With the vessels. And she says that she didn't know shadows could use them, but she knew that they were needed for this fight, which means that she's speaking to an augur. She
Mm.
has one that she's associated with, that she has had those glimpses from the future.
Mm.
But she also knows of Tal Kamar and who he is,
Yeah.
in a vague sense at the very least. I am.
And that was
So
a
it could
nice
have.
bit of foreshadowing.
It was. I am. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this all turns out. But I know she has interactions with an augur, at the very least. Most likely, it could have been Tal Kamar before he lost his memory.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been that he revealed to her that this is going to be something that needs to happen. I think it's going to be someone else. I think it'll be another player on the table. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was just my thoughts.
Oh no, and again, I like those thoughts. They're good. But
Oh, thank you.
but that kind of brings us to the end of Asha.
Yes.
So should we do Whir and then over to Davian? Because
Yeah.
Whir will be quick.
We're in Kaden. I guess we can do Kaden at
Caden's
the
got to be
very end.
last. Caden's got to be
Yeah.
last.
Just because the end. Just because the end.
Just
Otherwise,
yeah,
he would fit perfectly with it.
he would.
So yeah, we're. I am.
I really liked how again the king kind of knows. Yeah,
Well, yeah, and he knew to begin with.
he's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm the one that had to set it up."
Yeah.
It's like, "Of course I know." And I really like how the king's like, "Where do you stand?" And Whir answers as honestly as he can.
Yeah. Whatever's best.
He's like, "Whatever's best for the kingdom."
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. That's what we gotta look forward to. Because the king is very much us versus them mentality, but that could also be a cause of the brainwashing. We're not sure. We'll find out.
Well, because it all says that he wasn't that way before. He was the one that, well, he may not have liked them, he didn't hate them. Everything seems to have flipped, and that there's something going on, and it has to be something like Theoden.
It has to.
To
Like
me.
100%. I agree. 100%.
But I don't think it's gonna be able to be undone.
Yeah, it might be very much kind of what happens with Davian and the one guy later. But so
Yeah.
I really, again, we're so good. I like we're.
I do too. I really liked here how it showed that despite having lived the way he did, he kept up on the practices of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He never let that slip. And so he gets into this setting, and I mean, with the guard that Davian talks to, with the people there, everyone is intimidated by him, just his presence alone.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be. He's a prince. And well, we're familiar with him, and so because of that, we don't really see that side of things. But him taking that step back and having a third party look at him, where people are like, "This is the prince. This guy's intimidating. Like, look at him," and getting all prepped to go up and meet him. Asha and Michael, I am going up to meet him, and Asha's like, "Oh, I know who this is." But he doesn't. Like he didn't get raised with them. He doesn't know they know each other.
And I
it's
love that
just-
interaction.
Yeah.
That is something like friends do. It's very much like, again, like if we were in their positions, like you were the king or like the prince and I'm just like a subject, but yet we hung out all the time. We got our inside jokes. By the time you're like, do this, I'm like, you dick. Like I love how he's got that underlined, and I was laughing through that part. I'm just like, I get it. Like we all have that friend that we're just like, even though they are supposed to be raised to this high position. Yeah, I know this dude.
Yeah. Well, and not to get religious or anything like that in this setting, but there is the thing from the New Testament that no prophet is accepted in his own home.
Mm-hmm.
People know them. And because people know them, it's hard to see them in this position of grandeur or of power. Because he's the fool that tripped and landed on his face the other day.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing. That's all.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, yes, and that's the thing that is really cool with Whir is he can command that respect. And then Asha's just like, yeah, right. But the fact that she still
Nah.
acknowledges it, she still acknowledges it. She's like, I
Yeah.
can see the regal bearing, but I know the dude.
Yup.
So I
Yeah.
just love that subtle little subtlety that was put in there.
It was really well done.
And then I love Whir's
I'm
reaction when he does see Davian alive,
Yeah.
which I think that's a good time to transition now over to Davian.
Yes. I am. So Davian just shows up
He's like, "What's
out of the
up?"
blue, goes up to the guards, and he at least tries to not
Mhm.
use Were and Torin. And it's like, hey, yeah, I'm supposed to meet with these people. I need to talk to them now. Like, yeah, no. Please let me through to talk to him. It's important about this. I'll tell him. Just give me the message. I'm just
He's,
gonna read you. I'm just gonna use my powers.
and if anything, that's what I love Davian. I'm just like, yeah, no, I would have done the exact same thing. I'm just like, you being a butt about this. Fine, I guess I'll use my powers.
I thought he was gonna do like a Jedi mind trick and just like, you will let me through these doors.
Me too. I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that. Just like, you will now let me go through.
You know? But I like the way that they did that,
Mhm.
and that instead of, I guess I am affecting his emotions and twisting his mind, he just pulled things from it and used that to his advantage.
It was very much more like the detective route, where just like, okay, what would get me through the door that would not be suspicious in any way, shape, or form? Okay, so name drop the prince. Got it. Yeah, Torn, my best buddy friend. We met in the one place, the actual.
Yeah, Cavalier or
Yeah,
whatever,
Cavalier.
Calavar. But yeah, we met here. Gets in there. King throws a fit instantly. No.
It's like spies, spies. Which that's one thing I wish we would have seen. Just
I
because
know.
that is my biggest pet peeve. I'm just like, that would have been an amazing show. But instead, he
Okay,
told us.
how much better would it have been of them going to the party and having it be that they're sitting there and then the guy comes in, like they're in the middle of it, okay, like, hey, we just had this situation, we have to take things carefully. Guy bursts in, your friend Davian from this place is here. King freaks out even more, and you're just like, he's alive, but this is a really bad time. And then it transitions over to Davian, and it can even go back and like he can do the whole go back and talk about the guard and reflect on that, and then they walk in and he talks to them.
Yeah, it would have been so much better done that way, or even still, like, have it be like, okay, they're at the feast. They just concluded the meeting, and everybody's actually trickling back into the feast hall. Everybody's
Yeah.
back in, kind of pledging fealty and kind of doing some damage control, and everybody's like, okay, I think we got it. I think we got it. And then the guard comes and is like, yeah, your friend Davian's here to see you. He said this is urgent, it's immediate. And that's where the king then freaks out.
Yeah,
And
no, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
yeah, just have it be that. We needed that. And David's
Yeah.
just outside kicking rock, just do 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 do.
Exactly. It would have been so much better that way. But I understand that's not his style, and I still appreciate the way he did it. But I really wish it had happened that way. It'd
Me
been so
too.
great.
That one is our personal preference here. Just like
But we share it.
we share. It's a collective one. But
Ugh.
I love that. And then one thing I think we will need to cover more in depth later on, I think probably even in the next book, is the fairy tale Davian was reading in chapter 45.
Yes,
Like, I know that
I
is like
think we should
heavy
just
for
talk about that.
for me. I
I
just
think we should just do it.
Yeah, we could talk about it. For me, I just like I feel like it's heavy foreshadowing, and it is a great short story. But I know it's going to be more answered and more prevalent later, and it might be hinted at back here. I think it was very much more like, oh, either it's a red herring saying like, oh, who's who in this story, to which there's a lot of
Mhm.
parallels between Davian and Caden in that story.
There is. It also reminded me of I am when he went back, or when he did get through to one of the memories of his teacher, in the past,
Yeah.
where he got there and then the guy ended up massacring everyone after his wife got killed.
Yes.
I got similar vibes from him to the
Mm-hmm.
king.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
I don't think it's the same. It could just be the way that he tells the stories, but I just got kind of a similar vibe. Um,
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing. So, in my mind's eye, the reason why I felt similar is because we went back to the past. It is a past story, it's a past fairy tale. Whereas, again, we saw like the gray era, like I'm going to say like a golden age of
yeah,
like augurs, gifter, like gifted, all of that. We saw them working in harmony cohesively, and just even just the military battles of one kingdom versus another kingdom. We got to see that world. So that's why for me I think it was good that we kind of got the same kind of feeling with it. Whether they're related, I have no idea. You could be absolutely right on that and I'm just oblivious. But I think it was just more on the fact that we went back to the past to tell that kind of story, and that those stories line up because they were both in the past and it has that vibe to it.
yeah. I could definitely see that. Another reason I think that they're related is oftentimes fairy tales take that grain of truth and misconstrue it.
Yes.
So there was the three main themes that he needed to find: the servant loyal to him,
Mm-hmm.
the friend
Yep.
to heed his counsel, and then the woman he loved.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it kind of related to that of the people, because he was in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
The people killed his wife. So he had his love, the people betrayed him. There's two of them.
Mm.
He had a good friend who tried to stop him, to caution him. He didn't listen.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not saying they are connected, but I just saw those similarities, and they could just be
Oh no.
that.
One other similarity
Yeah.
that came to mind actually is when we are again Davian's con teacher.
Yeah.
One of the things he says why he has to keep changing faces is because of the deal he made.
Yeah.
What if that was the deal? That fairy
It could
tale is the
be.
deal. So
And it says that he massacred everyone that he was supposed to protect, and he massacres people after that,
yeah.
even people at the wedding.
Mm-hmm. Like that's why he can
So,
change faces so much, is because it's all the people he has killed. But anyway.
yeah. So, those are kind of my thoughts.
Oh, I like those thoughts. They're fun. It's a fun theory.
Is it wrong? 100%. 99%. But
80%.
80%. We'll just keep going down as we get closer and find out that I'm 100% correct.
Yes. But again, I was more relating just that fairy tale to definitely more Davian and Caden's situation.
Yeah.
Because in one respect, it's like this is where you could flip the script on either one, on Davian being the king, who's trying what he can. Because again, we have Asha, his love, were his best friend, and now I'm just like, okay, who the heck is going to be his subject?
Okay.
So that was the parallel I was more trying to take with it, but now the fairy tale is really good. I really liked how quick that fairy tale, because again, it was very fairy tale esque.
Yeah, it was.
So I really liked it.
I did too. I really liked it as well. And that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if we do come back to it, it's not going to be in this book.
Exactly, and that's why I was just like, I do want to touch on it, not go into great details, but because I do want to see where it will end up, because I know it's a foreshadowing element. What it is, I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Sorry, I'm jumping onto this one for a little bit more. I think the king might be Talcamar.
The king.
The one who, the friend, the lover, all
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's why I was like, I could see that avenue as well, because he is immortal.
that. Yes. And he, so he does join with them, but that also, he could easily be the one to want to leave,
Mm-hmm.
to want to fight against them. So yeah, I think it might be a story of Talcamar or something along those lines. But anyways, we can keep going, talk about more stuff with Davian and the his interrogation session.
Which I found that very interesting. I liked how, again, it's one of those moments that just like, yep, hold my beer. Because, again, we had this man who was like, I have been trained by actual augurs. I can actually repel augurs that were the true creme of the crop. And Dave's like, all right, hold my beer. Takes out the knife.
I love that so much. He's like, okay, yeah. Have you done it while in pain? What? Stab!
Can you maintain that concentration while doing something else? Like what?
And then, I love that he's in there. He's like, he's fine. I just stabbed him in the leg. He's not so fine. Look. Oh yeah, there's that problem of destroying someone's mind.
My bad.
My bad.
But again, I actually love how David's not like, my bad. He's just like, oh crap. Oh, completely forgot about that. But in one respect, it's kind of justice. Although this shows how far I'm willing to go.
It does. We start seeing that darker side of him again.
We're beginning to see the, oh, you slightly inconvenience me? Okay, I'm going to plow through you.
Yeah, he doesn't really have regard for what his abilities can do.
Correct.
He doesn't care about the consequences, and then he feels guilty afterwards. He's just reckless.
He's very much ends justify the means.
Yeah. But he's also reckless that he doesn't recognize what the ends are going to be.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Very reckless.
But he's starting to. He's starting to plan out more.
Mm-hmm.
But he has his plan, and he just doesn't think about the extra consequences. But I think he'll get there, especially after he gets captured and becomes the slave to whoever. Then after that, he's going to come back and be a lot more strategic, and he's not going to make the same mistakes.
Yes, this is very much, again, a reckless youth. And the fact that and that's the thing I do love with this, like, okay, I'm going to go back to Wheel of Time, using Matt Cawthon as the example, because in the very beginning, oh my gosh, you want to kill Matt. You just want to slap him up the side of the head so many times because he is so annoying. But you see his growth as a person as you go through the books. And that's what I feel like we're getting with Davian, is we're seeing that character progression. We're seeing that reckless youth use his powers just to, again, because something's in his way. How is he going to solve it? He's got these tools. I can use these tools to solve my problems. It makes perfect sense in Davian's character on why he's doing it.
It does.
So, again, I love all of that. And then the interesting meeting that happened with the guy. Let me get to the chapter. The meeting he had with the hooded man as he entered Tenvar's mind.
Oh, yeah. So it's the guy who's very much like Talcamar. He has the same tattoo, but it's not Talcamar.
Yeah.
Says someone who's older. I mean, this could be the king.
Oh, yeah.
Or the king is Devaed, which I think is what I was talking about.
Yeah, I think it might be. Again, it's not. I don't think it's Devaed, but I think it's one of his generals. What were they called?
Yeah, that was I liked that we got a new term.
Yes.
Based out of Talcamar's mind, and it wasn't something we had heard before. But you're like, oh, okay. Go to that. There's the fairy tale.
Side of the boundary. Wordsmith. Oh, the Venerate.
Venerate. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that now we have, like, basically, I'm going to say, like, the Forsaken in Wheel of Time. Like, but it's the Venerate.
Yeah.
The Dark One's generals.
Yes. And I liked how this guy who is powerful, just gets absolutely trashed by him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That finger.
Yeah.
That was the perfect amount of detail he needed to go into that.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't over the top, but it gave you enough that you're just like, ooh, oh my, okay.
Does that make you go, ow?
Yep,
But gosh dang, it was good.
it was. And I'm glad they introduced who, to me, seems like it's going to be the main bad guy of the next book.
Yes.
And is probably the one who captures and enslaves Davian.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that makes 100% sense. Like a Venerate captures Davian, tortures
Yeah.
him, holds him, or I could even see him trying to persuade him to join the
Yeah,
Devade.
I don't think it's gonna be David himself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll be one of the Venerate.
Yeah. Again, that's what I was, sorry, that's what I was meaning. It's just like one of the Venerates capture him, but try to sway him to serve Devade.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got what you were saying. I was
Okay.
agreeing and just reiterating it in my own words.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, I could definitely see that. And then Davian has the oh crap moment. We can't let Kaden touch the box.
So that was the thing that I didn't understand exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how did he figure that
Uh,
out?
I
I
believe.
know that the
Go on.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I believe he figured it out because of the vision. It was very much more like the fact that the Venerate was like, this needs to get who is destined to. This needs to get there. In order for us to win, this has to get there. Just the fact they emphasize it so much during that vision. That's what Davian went, oh, we can't let Caden touch the box because only Davian and him have been able to see it.
Okay.
So that was the connection I was making.
Okay. The reason why I was more confused on it is because at one point he says that it wasn't initially intended for Caden.
Hmm.
I thought I read that, but it was that side of things where it. I don't know. It felt a little convoluted and not as clear, but it could have also been because people were talking while I was reading and
Oh, okay,
at
yeah.
that point, and so I could have just misread things.
Yeah, because I know he says it multiple times.
Yeah. I
True.
know he does, and I remember that, and I know the box itself was dangerous. And I was trying to figure out why. It just felt like Davian knew what was going to happen with it,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't have that reveal of what was going to happen with it until it happened.
Okay.
And so I just felt like it was disconnected in that way. Because sometimes having that, I am what was it, reverse irony? Or,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I read what you read. It's a
yeah.
question that the box had been linked to
Uh,
someone else initially? Question mark. So it was very much Davian asking these questions internally, saying, "It was it this? Was it that? Was it this? Was it that?" But then,
gotcha.
as things began going, his gears began turning, and it just clicked.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. But I also really do like that Caden recognizes he's like, I need to go through this. I have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, but we need you to fight them because you're the only one that can. Fire, don't leave us.
And Ken is like,
Deuces.
GGWP, peace out.
GG easy.
Best of luck, you guys.
Deuces.
But again,
And
Cade.
so we shall go to war.
What? But there's actually one last thing I do want to cover, and because we kind of glossed over the reuniting of Davian with everybody.
Yes.
I absolutely loved. Again, I loved the reaction he had with Asha because it was both like for him, he's just like, "You're alive! You're alive!"
We're alive.
Woo!
We're livers.
Yeah, and then they're like, "I want to know more of the story, but we ain't got time." Okay.
Yep. In that moment, everyone's like, "We're back together, but we all have to run different directions.
Wait,
We'll
why?
talk to you later if we don't die."
Yeah, and and that was fun. And then I loved his reunion with Terrace.
Yeah, where he asked him flat out, and he found the truth.
Yeah, I thought that was powerful. Like, and that was such a small segment, but how powerful it was amazing.
You know,
But other than that, Caden's story again, as you said, it was super short, super straight to the point. But yeah,
I I really like that they're developing his relationship with Kat, uh, with the princess.
yeah, me too.
Um, that it really is, or Kata or whatever he calls her.
Mm-hmm.
That you can see them really developing a good relationship, and that she trusts him despite everything.
And personally, I love how in that last meeting, you got a sense, you got that feel of this is the last respite we have before crap hits the fan.
Yep.
We don't know where the future is going to hold us to. It's one of those moments, just like when somebody turns to the dark side, you're like, remember that one moment? I wish I could go back to that one moment.
Yeah.
What we just read was that moment.
Yes, it is.
And I
This
love
is
that.
the quick save.
And I love the feeling it had.
Yeah.
And then crap does hit the fan with Kaden going bum banzai cannonball
Yeah,
into.
with Caden. And this is the moment where everything starts going, and then he has to jump through the portal and leaves. And up next is going to be the war. It's where it's all going to start, the first battle. The city's going to get destroyed.
Yep. The one thing that I found very interesting was when he said he could sense Terrace and Davian both moving to stop him, but he was too fast. He was always going to be too fast. And yeah, thank you for tuning in.